brothers and sisters. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
It is official because like around 5 o'clock, ganina palang daan, nagbuto-buto na. Precisely because sa ato ang, di ba, the revolution of the earth, there is already a place in the world that already is January 1, mga 5 or 4 o'clock ganina. But it was also a sad thing, a sad note to receive, no? The death of Pope Benedict, the Pope Emeritus, Pope Benedict XVI, and who has been called the great servant of the Church. With his high theological achievements as a theologian, he has remained a particularly, an important, what we call an important force mover in the Church, with all the many different teachings, and even what he did when he stepped down from the papacy, which is not a unique thing that he did. But this is something that we also have to feel in our lives, because through his papacy, we have entered into a newer perspective with the many different reviews of the lessons that we actually we need to learn. We need to be always reminded about. Now, today's celebration, yes, it is the New Year in the civil calendar, but our liturgical calendar has already started when we had the first Sunday of Advent. And this is a very significant time because today is the octave, no? The octave of Christmas, the 8th day of Christmas. And it is always dedicated to the motherhood of God, to the motherhood of Mary. Mary as the mother of God. And motherhood is always the first thing that comes to mind when we talk about life. Actually, I have only a very simple word to talk about and to reflect this particular night, this particular celebration. It is about the alphabet of human life. The alphabet of human life begins not with the letter A. I think it is even a misnomer to say alphabet. Kaya ang alphabet, magsugod man yun ng alpha. No? But the alphabet of life begins with the letter M. And what is that letter M? That letter M is first and foremost motherhood. Any form of life always begins with a mother. Kung walay mama, wala ta. No? The life that we actually receive as God's gift is given to us through a mother. And here comes and stands the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of God, with her humility, with her obedience, with her fiat. When he accepted the message of an angel, it also begins with the letter M, by the way. The message of an angel, the message of Angel Gabriel, that she kept in her heart. She kept on meditating. That's another M. There are so many M's that we can actually talk about today. Ayaw lang i-appeal ninyo ang M and M. Ibig na manghatag ninyo ang M and M. So Mary, motherhood, meditate, message, and then there is this one beautiful M that actually comes to mind when we talk about the motherhood, because the centrality of this is the name of Mary herself. And I always love to reflect on the meaning of Mary, because Mary is not just a common or an ordinary name. In Hebrew, her name is Miriam. And the original literal meaning of Mary is hard-headed. Hard-headed nga, not disobedient, but hard-headed with the sense of determination. And this is something that we have to keep in mind and to embrace at the very beginning of each civil year. A firm determination to do something that we want. That's why many things would come like New Year's resolution that hopefully we are able to fulfill before the end of the current year. These are the things that we need to work out, to work on, to work about, or sometimes even to work over, because there are so many kanang gitawag natong mga backtracks, mga review nga itong himuon. And here comes in mind the very beautiful name January. Januarius. By the way, we are not giving the value of the mythological figure Januarius. Who was Januarius? Januarius is the person or the god depicted with two heads, one looking behind and one looking forward. And this is a most beautiful thing about what we have to take a look into, to put into our memory. And that memory remains to be a memory if we do not care about it, but a memory that is a living memory. Inasmuch as the Eucharistic celebration is the memorial, the making alive, the reliving of the great mystery of salvation for all of us. But then, what we are living right now is not enough if we only learn from the past, because we also need to look at the future, to put our heads ahead, so that we will be able to see how far we have gone and how still far we are going to go. And this is one thing about the message of firmness in the head, no? The determination, the very meaning of Miriam or Mariam. Mama Mary, Mama, letter M. This is one thing that we always have to embrace. And in connection with this, we also put in mind our own families, our own mothers. Just as last Christmas Day, I said, the birthday is never complete without the mother. And so with this, we are given a good time to reflect. And there are so many reasons to do that, precisely because we have just come out slowly in the open from being confined because of the pandemic. And so we are able to take a look into what has been in order to be able to be actively involved in what is going to come. And then we start doing it in the here and now. And with this, we put into context one more time the coming of the light into the world, who is Jesus. And this light, in the Jewish tradition, I always love to reflect on this. Before the Sabbath comes, no, that is normally on a Friday afternoon, but it depends on the time, no, because mag-agad man na sila sa buwan. The last person to use the light is the mother. Kay siya man ang magluto. And because of that, before she puts out the light in the kitchen, she is also the one to light the Sabbath candle. And this is a very beautiful connection. Sabbath for the Jewish people is a very solemn day. We also have our own Sabbath. But the role of the mother during the celebration is the initial or the starting point of a great celebration, a great memorial, and most of all, a refreshing of how God continues to touch their lives as a Jewish people, as the chosen people of God, and also about us. Because we are not only gathering as individuals, as different groups, but as one family, as a family called together under the guidance and motherhood of the Blessed Virgin Mary, under her blue mantle, under her protection, and through her intercessions, we continue to become a Marian people. I should say, whether we like it or not. We are always dependent on our mothers, and so it boils down to one thing, that also in our faith, we hopefully and we may be always attached to her, our mother, our dear protectress, our intercessor, the mediatrix of all graces, and most of all, our mother. Wala na ilain pang ikasulti ang atong mama. And with that, we always give thanks to the Lord for having given us this particular woman, that through her, His Son has come into the world. And so as we continue this Eucharistic celebration, mediating also the prayers of other people that we bring today, that's again another letter M, we may continue to joyfully celebrate not just the new civil year, but new years and new days every day of our lives. Amen.